Maradona, lo marcan dos, pisa la pelota Maradona, arranca por la derecha el genio del fútbol mundial, y es el tercero a tocar para Borruchaga siempre Maradona, genio,
Greetings, football lovers. Welcome to Ballchat World Cup recap. My name is Benton, along with the family. Junior, Wagwan family. How you stay? How is your World Cup bracket, family? Use your words, Junior. Use your words. Those of you who cannot, Junior, I'm not. Wagwan.
I'm in tears. Me a ball.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going to ball, you ball, brother. If you're going to cry, cry. Let us see it.
That would make perfect YouTube.
Yeah, that would make perfect YouTube. Football family, welcome to our World Cup recap. The weekend that was in the World Cup action. 4 teams remaining, family. France, Morocco, the surprise of the pack, Messi and Argentina, and the general himself, Luka Modric and Croatia. Some other teams packing up. Brazil gone, Netherlands gone, Portugal gone, and of course, the Queen-loving Junior big team gone. Your thoughts on the weekend's action. Family, send on your comments, send on your statement, but your thoughts, big takeaway before we dive down into the respective games and look ahead for the semi-final matches. But your thoughts on the overall weekend's action yesterday and today, family.
We guess and we act like we'll make a one prediction. Cause like you always said, the clock always wrong. A broken clock is right two times a day, right?
Yeah.
Last week Sunday, I said, this week when we come back on and we're ready for the semis, we're going to say a couple surprises, right?
Yeah.
I never saw Morocco reaching the semifinals. I never saw Morocco reaching the semifinals last week, and the man them really deserve it, really deserve it. And I think you made a comment. I think you made a comment where say, this is your favorite World Cup since '86, or most exciting World Cup since 1986, right?
Yeah, probably the most exciting World Cup since 1986, yeah.
And I agree. I cannot remember a World Cup match that had as much intrigue in the whole World Cup as one weekend of football last week or this week, right?
Yeah.
Plus, we're not even talking about the third group games where you had all of those crazy scenarios play out. So I mean, World Cup excited, man. We're excited about the World Cup.
Yeah, man. Big up to Kofi. Kofi says wasn't looking at Morocco. Got to watch them. But before we drill down on the respective games, as we said, Junior, like you mentioned, we never anticipated Morocco, but this is overall good for football. I mean, is this a signal? We don't want to get too far with the analysis, but is this a signal of the closing of the gap between the so-called traditional powerhouses and the Moroccos and the African teams or the Asian teams?
No, because you still have the Belgiums, the Germans that get kicked out early, that kick themselves out, right? You still have the Spains that got kicked out. I think the gap is closing already, right? But I don't think there's any big seismic shift. Morocco just played with house money and win.
Just play with house money. All right, let's go through the pieces and take these games one at a time. Starting with Brazil versus Croatia. Brazil lost that game 4-2 on PK's family. I don't know. Brazil's coach Tisha is officially out. Next man up. Junior, I had Brazil.
Tite's out.
Yeah?
He's out. Tite is out.
Yeah, I had Brazil winning this tournament. No full disclosure. A part of me was to salt them up because I have a history of putting bad jinxing teams that I pick. But never in my wildest dream I expected Brazil to go out at this stage. What went wrong for them in this game against Croatia? They end up losing the game after taking the lead in extra time, end up losing it on PKs. What went wrong for you as the Brazilian fan in the building, family?
I think, but you know, you're going to hear me blame Neymar. You hear me cuss off Neymar and say Neymar is not a leader and blah blah blah, right? But that statement will not be only for this game because Neymar did what he could. Neymar scored the goal in an extra time and gave Brazil the lead, right? And coming into the World Cup, we said Brazil had an airtight defense. So when Brazil took the lead, nobody expected Croatia to come back and score. Croatia just create a one chance and them score, right? I mean, sometimes luck don't go in your favor. However, one can argue that Brazil should have never made the game get to overtime, right? So I think it depends on the perspective that you approach that question with. But if I'm going to answer that question from the perspective that Brazil is a better team, they should have won, and Croatia just lucky, then we'll find something for blame on Brazil. But in reality, Croatia is the beaten finalist from the last World Cup, right?
Yes, beaten finalist.
Brazil hasn't seen the semifinals in 20 years or whatever. So, no, Brazil is not ordained for to show up and make it to the semifinals. I am a Brazilian fan, and I said it last week. I never expect them for reach the semifinals. No, I expected them to play Japan. I expected Japan to run them off of the field. But it still worked out that way. I'm not surprised, to be honest with you. Not surprised.
And before we talk about Croatia, I mean, Brazil is one of the tournament favorites coming in, along with France. You know, the idea is that both of these two teams are deep when you look at their benches and with the level of quality ballers they have, you know, game changers, so to speak. Were you surprised that Brazil, after taking that lead 1-0 in extra time, and ended up giving that goal, sold it out looking for going maybe for an extra goal? So many people out of place defensively in that game, on that Croatian goal. Were you surprised? Because we watched the game and we are shout at the TV and say, yo, brother, why is the two Croatian ballers wide open at the back post? And eventually one came in, cut in and got the ball. But were you surprised at that huge risk Brazil took, knowing that they were 1-0 up, they just need to manage the game?
No, it's another sporting reference. I coach basketball, right? I'm gonna just finish a basketball game.
Are you play football too?
I'm a play but basketball is apt in this situation.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you have timeouts in basketball, right?
Yeah.
What transpired in the Brazil game showed a lack of experience and teacher and the Brazilian team. What we saw is a
experience, Junior. Sorry to interrupt, but you have Thiago Silva, you have Marquinhos, you have generals, men, Casemiro, men who has played at the highest club level, brother. Them get a beaten 7-1 from Germany in the
but it's a different scenario,
the 2014 World Cup. So shouldn't these men know that, brother, we have the lead, let's keep what we have and don't risk it?
No, yes, that is your perspective, right? So Thiago Silva and Marquinhos might be shouting that. Casemiro might be saying, yo, let's not fall all the way back. Let's still play high. Obviously, there was some miscommunication on the field. It's obvious. So there was no leadership on the field. There was no one person where everybody can point to and say, one man has shout out and say, yo, this is what we're doing now. Lock shop. Also, it showed a lack of preparation. Teacher and company did not prepare Brazil for, if we take a 1-goal lead in overtime, here is what we do next. That conversation never happened. It is clear and obvious. We don't have to break it down any further than that. There was a lack of communication from the top down for this scenario. They just were not prepared for that scenario.
All right, which don't make no sense to me. Which absolutely, we look at Croatia in a second. Big up to the family. Send out your comments. Chef Diadi says overconfidence. That's a sign of immaturity. And this is something that I understand when you play a game and a lot is going on in those moments. So it's hard for me now to turn keyboard coach and look and assess. But it was just baffling to a lot of us watching that game. We say, yo, brother, why not so wide open? You already have the lead. Here's a chance to stitch up what you have and go on to the next round. The substitution by T-shirts.
Madness.
Fred.
Madness.
No Bruno Guimaraes. I mean, no Fabinho, who's also sitting on the bench. I mean, do you think, now we can look back at it and overanalyze, but Fred, do you agree with that decision to bring Fred on?
I worry for stupid decision. It started when him take off Vinny at halftime,
yeah,
or right
Vinny,
after halftime.
Vinny, yeah.
I put on Rodrigo. That from there, so you know, T-shirt got tight. The man have what we call bumhole itis. Him get tight. Him belly start wrap up in a knot and him start fret. And Jesus him, we should have scored already. Oh God, we don't know what we're doing in the second half. And him get nervous. So him throw out ballers out there and throwing out and say, hopefully we hit something. When he put on Anthony for Rafinha.
Yeah.
But hope me hit something. Let's see if we can hit something. There was no rhyme or reason to that. So you can't look at this at the Vinny substitution and say, this is a thought process without getting anything from the left. Back we see if we can jolt something from the left. Vinny was your most attacking player in the game. So that just shows that there is some, not favoritism, but there is some name recognition that goes on in who get picked and who play. Because Martinelli should not see the field.
And that's also, when we pick these teams at the beginning of this tournament, we look at talent, but we're also looking at coaches making those decisions, those big decisions at the right moment, the right decisions in those big moments. And I never in my wildest dream thought that T-shirt would just forward with utter rubbish, because I agree with the with your assessment on the Vinny substitution. I don't think that was the time to take off Vinny. We have seen Vinny go in and out of games playing for Real Madrid, but he just needs a minute. He's still surgical running at that defensive line. Pivoting to Croatia. We are in, big up to the family. Most of the family already know this, but we are in this captain series on Netflix, and the Croatian team is featured in this captain series. And there's a segment in the captain series where Luka Modric spoke to Livakovic, the goalkeeper. There was Luka Modric was saying to Livakovic, you are afraid to make mistakes. We need a goalkeeping change and we need you to step up. Stop worrying about it. Junior, how big was Livakovic in this Croatian team? It's like you can't beat him. Yeah.
I mean, and is one thing, and I'm going to give a preview. I'm a semi-finals look. All the teams have good storylines, right? And for Croatia's storyline, it's a fairly young federation, came out in 1998. Yes, them break off of Yugoslavia. Yes, they already knew how to play football. But there is something about building a tradition, building an identity. And what we saw Modric did to the goalkeeper as an elder statesman, to a brother who might have another World Cup or two in him, is pass on the identity that he came up with. Is pass on Nedved. Nedved come from Croatia.
Who's
Pavel Nedved?
Pavel Czech. I think he represents Czech.
Czech. Yeah.
Pavel
But
Nedved,
that region.
Boban and them on there.
Right.
From 98 and them boy there. I think Sukar.
Akan Sukar.
Yeah,
Akan Sukar.
Yeah, them boy there.
That mentality is what you saw. So the team where you see playing right now is the same way they played in 1998. And what we saw in the captain series is Madrid passing on that mantle, passing on that button, passing on that identity to the keeper. So the keeper is going to send that message now to our next player. We're not afraid of nobody. We can't come out here and say on a number one team and you have Neymar and Ray. Well, guess what? We're not afraid of nobody. And that resonated from captains to the World Cup. And now them going to face the ultimate story. If you think they were underdogs now against Brazil, wait till them go out to Argentina Tuesday. Yo, the whole world want Messi win right now.
Well, we don't know about the whole world. Because I talked to some Ronaldo fans earlier and them said them hope things reach him, but
behind closed doors, them want Messi.
At the pre-match presser, we see you running in, family. Send on your comments. We'll get you some of the comments them in a second. At the pre-match press conference, the Croatian coach Zlatko Dalic said that he has the best midfielder in this tournament, best midfield in this tournament, the best midfielders, the best midfield trio. Brozovic, Mr. Boro himself, Brozovic, Luka Modric, and the one, Mr. Kovacic from. But Tishi should know that brother, you can't lose the midfield to the side. And one thing you saw that was deliberate about this Croatian midfield, they want to dictate, play the game at their pace.
Right.
And so, with that being said, are they still the best midfield left of the four?
So Chouameni, Rabiot, and Griezmann versus Croatia midfield. I don't think Argentina midfield lives up. It's DePaul. Argentina midfield is DePaul, Messi,
Fernandez, or McAllister coming in.
Right.
Enzo Fernandez or McAllister.
What I would say about Croatia midfield, they don't have the best or the highest star power, but they have the most complete midfield. Yeah. Because one thing about them though is that they don't have a problem doing the dirty work, right? Like Croatia not going to be up 2-0 versus Netherlands with 5 minutes leave and the game draw. That's not happening, right?
Yeah.
Croatia not going to be up 1-0 against England and give away a penalty, take back the lead, and then give away a next penalty in the dying minutes of the game. They're not. One thing about them, they're not making any mistakes, right?
Yeah.
I cannot remember a mistake that midfield trio made, and I think that set them apart. So I think the coach is right. They have the best overall midfield left in the final eight.
Diari said, Chef Diari said France is the best remaining midfield family.
And you can't argue against that. Because Chouameni, Rabiot, and Griezmann, right? You can't argue that they are the most attacking midfield. Can't argue that. We can't argue against that, but Chouameni give a penalty to them that you're not going to say Croatia.
And that was a bit reckless of Chouameni, right. And we'll get to that later on in the show. But I picked France to make it to the final against Brazil. I picked Brazil to win because I am not sure about this French youth. I mean, of course, they have a lot of injuries. I'm not sure if Chouameni and Tchouameni in the real Gideon, when they play the big side, they're going to carry them on. I mean, and they pulled it out today against England, but we have to see because there were some tackles later on in the game and give up that penalty. I mean, you're a baller, but come on, Tchouameni, you can't make them full decisions late in the game.
But for the 8 teams, I think, or for the last 4, I think France has already played their hardest game. I think England will be their hardest game.
All right, we'll continue. We'll get to our predictions in a second. All right, the other game that took place on Friday, family, Argentina defeated the Netherlands 4-3 on penalty. Argentina led the game 2-0. A sensational pass from the one, Mr. Messi himself, to find his friend Molina. I don't know how you pull that pass off. Not looking, but Argentina couldn't hold the lead, family. Your thoughts on that game?
You see, I want to beat Argentina for giving up the lead, you know, but football have a funny way sometimes of being lucky and the bounce go your way, right?
Yeah.
The bounce just went Netherlands' way. I mean, they could have never scored. They could have not even scored the first goal, the header. Argentina bossed the game for the most part. Messi showed that how much of a general he is. But then Argentina's deficiencies showed up in the last 10 minutes at a regular time. In Martinez being a liability in the air, and them being too emotional to not lock in for the last minute of the game. And Netherlands just took advantage of both of them, right?
Yeah.
So you want to say, oh, you know, Netherlands did this and Argentina idiot side and blah, blah. But for 80 minutes of the game, it did not feel or look like Argentina was threatened. And Netherlands just did a smash and grab in the last 10 minutes. And then the man then find a way and win back the game.
And then found a way and win back the game. Where was this Netherlands team throughout the game, family? I mean, why left it so late to really go at this Argentina team? I mean, when you're down 2-0, why play so conservatively? I mean, it seems like they had Nathan Atke was zeroed in and trying to stop Messi, but I mean, it's still Argentina.
I don't think, but you see, that's what I'm saying is look at the draw. I don't think Netherlands were playing conservative. They were playing their football. What happened is when you start chasing the game, you throw your fastball. And your fastball right now is you take a 6 foot swat, 6'5", 6'6" forward off of the bench and put him up against somebody that's about 5'5", 5'6", and kick the ball long to him, right? And just hope something happen and you get the header and score. Now the free kick, but I'm putting a chat. That's just LVG being LVG, right?
Excellent.
It's just that's a difference between teacher and LVG. LVG prepare his team for certain scenarios, right? And then work through certain scenarios. So when that scenario presents itself, they are prepared to execute, and they execute it, right? So it just is what it is. I don't think they were playing conservative. They had Gakpo, Bergwijn, and Memphis playing in the top three, right?
Yeah, but like Gakpo, I mean, again, against Argentina, Gakpo not even get much sniff.
Well, you want me to say a news flash?
What's the news flash?
Gakpo wished World Cup they done after the first round. Can't not do nothing after the first round. If we're really be honest and look at who them play against the USA, then play against who does them play against? America. What the three that side of them play against? And Gakpo looked like a general, right?
So of course, they won their group, then they went to the round of 16, and then defeated the USA in the round of 16, and then that last 8.
So they play Ecuador, and then they have Ecuador,
Senegal, and Qatar.
And Qatar. Three that side. Because Senegal never ready for play ball. So Gakpo look like a general, and now we expect Gakpo to go show up against big bad Argentina. Why they are bug, man? Come on, Manchester United, see me, but you have a lot to do. You have a lot to learn. Lot to learn.
Messi rolled out this celebration yesterday. There was a lot of arguments that took place in this game. A lot of arguments that took place. He did the Riquelme celebration, and we know that Riquelme is a baller, and he's also an antagonistic baller in his head there. Messi did this Riquelme celebration too. The Dutch bench got toe-to-toe with LVG. Why is Messi getting an argument with old LVG, brother Louis van Gaal?
No, but all right. Messi to me is having an all-time great World Cup, right? And all of this back and forth really started earlier when Di Maria did say LVG was the worst coach I've ever played for the club level or something like that. Remember that, right?
Yeah, he made some comments along those lines. So there's a
Yeah,
lot of
because
feelings carried.
right. So whether who started or whatever, everybody pick it up and use it as their own war now, right? And you know, LVG is a brother, it mount no light.
Yes,
It mount
LVG
no
will
heavy.
not back from a fight.
Him not backing from nobody. So that is the persona that the Netherlands have. And Argentina, Messi, the thing what will kill Messi, me personally kill Messi for, he's showing it this World Cup. I kill Messi for not showing that killer instinct. He must show it now. He is playing like a brother that know this is my last chance of winning the World Cup. And I'm going to leave it all on the field. I love that.
Speaking on Messi going into that game, Virgil van Dijk said, quote, the difficult thing about him is when we are attacking, he's chilling somewhere in a corner or something, end quote. Many saw that has been slight, saying that Messi is not doing his defensive responsibilities. He's chilling when the opponent is attacking. Now, I light a fire. I'm critical of Messi. I mean, he did his post-match presser, and I don't have the quote, but he said something, I mean, something to the effect of shut up, you fool. He was still going at it, I think, with Weghorst. And Weghorst and him had a really intense clash in this game. So, brother, don't bother with them heap of haji thing there. I mean, I'm trying to find the exact statement that he said to Weghorst. But, and Messi going over to Edgar Davids, a warm one fight? You don't want to fight them on the brother.
But you know what though? I dare me to say it. I'm daring myself to say it. That is Diego-like. That is Maradona-like.
Yeah, Maradona quick for fight still. I mean, but this is not Messi's persona.
But
last week we spoke about personalities and how Maradona has this larger-than-life personality who will fight you any minute, anywhere, any second, all when the man go get beat up. This is not Messi. Messi is not a man for fight. Him not no fisticuffs.
But there's nobody, all right, them not gonna let go Otamendi, them not gonna let out the butcher upon them, right? Because them too precious right now. Them knows that Messi not getting a red card. Messi have to take up that mantle. He has to take it up. He have to show him team that he is here fighting with them, right? So while the whole world might arms and gloves up Messi is saying to his team, no, we'll fight together. We'll do this together. And that's big. That's big. You have to give him props, man. You need that for win the World Cup.
Junior, should Messi have gotten a red card in that ball game?
Yes, he should have. But like I tell everybody, Michael Jordan foul out probably every game in 2 minutes, and them done the game with only one foul. Yo, if you are a great player, you get the calls. That's just how it is.
This is foolishness. So this is what the Jordan rule.
Of course.
Pretty much to a man. A lot of the Argentinian players, they went after referee Matthew Lohaus after the game. They thought his refereeing was poor. Your thoughts on the refereeing, family? Was it that bad? I know there was quite a few yellow cards given out, 17 to be exact. But was it that bad, family? Was the refereeing that poor?
No. What I think it is typical, and this is typical of Argentina. It's typical of a lot of South American teams, except for Brazil. And not because I'm a Brazilian fan. It is what it is. When competition fire up, the emotions kind of kick in, and it is what it is. And then I try to find somebody to blame.
We have this image of Otamendi, also looking like he's doing the Riquelme to the Dutch players after the winning penalty was scored. He said this picture is taken out of context. Junior, and he also said the reason why he did it to the Dutch players is that as their players were walking up to take the penalty, the Dutch players were talking trash to them. And so he felt the need to just do this to them. I mean, brother, remember I say, hey, karma is a mother, you know.
Yeah, but when does karma end, right? Because Memphis was the one that posted a picture about USA saying,
Yeah,
all
lot of
talk,
bark and
all
no
bark,
bite.
no,
Yeah,
no
yes,
bite,
yes.
right? No, it's not conspiracy theories, but in today's world, right? You know, looking at that picture, all it's going to take is one Black American or one American who is all about fixing racism and blah blah blah. For say, hey, I interpret that as you're doing the monkey face and you're doing that at the black players. You see what I say? And I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet. I'm actually waiting for that to happen because normally when you do this is a sign of a monkey, right? With the
Well,
monkey ears, them
I
pointing
don't know.
this
I
way.
don't really do monkey. It could be a
No,
butterfly.
but it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
So I get your karma, but karma hit Memphis right now and the Netherlands, right? Maybe if Croatia beat Argentina, then we say karma bite them back. I don't know.
Louis van Gaal is out as Dutch coach, which is normal for a cycle. Leandro Paredes, number 5, is also in this image. Many Dutch fans also thought he should have gotten a red card, and I suspect that there will be some fines coming down because the criticism of the referee went too wide after the game. You can't forward with them sort of criticism, there, brother. You can't forward to them sort of criticism. Ronald Koeman will take over the Dutch. The Dutch go on at them yard, you know. Your thoughts on them? I mean, did they overachieve in this tournament, family?
Yeah, they overachieve. They overachieve. They don't have. I don't think they have the talent that reaching the quarterfinal dictates. I think they benefit from a generous schedule. I just that them. I don't. I think they're 4 years away. I think they need a Bergwijn replacement. They need what they are missing is a Van Persie. I think they will even sacrifice Huntelaar right now. They're missing a number 9. They're missing a true
number 9. Junior in the shock of the quarterfinals. The Atlas Lions continue to roar, family. Morocco defeated Portugal 1-0. A hot one love goal scored in the 43rd minute thereabout. Brother, and Portugal couldn't find a goal with that big side. Your thoughts, family?
Yo, that's just a football stay. You score 6 the last game and you come back, oh, I can't score, I can't find one. What would they would give them right arm for one of those goals, right? It's just, yo, Morocco were prepared, and the most important thing, because coaches, any coach can scout a team and see what a team's strengths and weaknesses and prepare to play against that team, strength and weakness, right? Yeah. But you have to have the players that buy into the system, committed to it, and execute it, right? And also have some luck, because João Felix could have scored, Ronaldo could have scored, Pepe could have scored, but Morocco had some luck. It is what it is. Yeah, I think there are question marks around Portugal, but you can't take anything away from Morocco. The man them plan and execute them game plan, and they might take it up against France now.
The coach of Morocco, Coach Walid Regueiro, took over the team in August, and you know there are players in this team that defensively are suspect, like Achraf Hakimi, baller for PSG. Ziyech, normally he doesn't really run back, but the effort shown on the defensive side of the ball by this Moroccan team was absolutely impressive. They should have actually scored a couple goals. I think it's Chedira who eventually got a second yellow card should have had a couple goals because he had a couple one-on-ones with a goalkeeper for Portugal. But on the goal itself, do you blame the goalkeeper on that one, family? I mean, I thought goalkeeping school say, brother, you come out of your box, you're coming out of your goal, if you clear up or get a ball, you should not achieve that objective. You should get there.
Yeah, but then if an athlete out-athlete your goalkeeper is just circumstance, then now we start second guessing ourselves and saying, well, him should stay up on him line. But if you stay up on him line, you're giving up a free header. So there's no defense for the perfect cross. There just isn't. You cannot stop the perfect cross and the perfect executed cross. You just have to hope for some luck. You can't stop it. That was, the brother out jumped the keeper who went full stretch with his hands out, trying to punch the ball. And the brother out jumping my head the ball down. That's just, sometimes you just have to tip your hat off and say, good goal. But we'll try to get it back. But we can't, I don't believe in the blame game for that one. No.
I could go through some of the comments and what the family must say, because the man, there's a whole heap of things I say in that chat.
Chef Tayadi said France is the best remaining midfield. The man said the bread bag will go bust up Tuesday.
Workers Argentina, aka Croatia, right?
Yeah. But hopefully they learned from this game the coaching is suspect. He also said, I'm surprised more teams don't have those type of set plays in the repertoire, talking about the execution from Netherlands. I think a lot of teams tried. It just happened to work out for them at that time. The refs were terrible. Too many simple cards didn't control the game. Beckham also said, Beckham Street Music said, Rafinha has not been finishing, and I think the coach should not have continued starting him. True?
Yeah, Rafinha definitely had a bad World Cup, so he's gone and yard right now. Junior, continue your assessment at this Portugal versus Morocco game. We have to salute the general himself, Mr. Legendary Ball. I mean, someone said them good, some say Ray. Mr. CR7 is a general, and this may be the last time we're going to see him at a World Cup, brother.
Yeah? No, maybe him done. When am I going to play World Cup at 43?
Well, you don't know the man love ball game, you know. It ends this way, family. Quarterfinals. Your thoughts on this tournament fame and his World Cup play, brother?
I think he played like an old man. His age from the start of the season, unfortunately for him, his age has caught up to him. I don't know if, because the Portugal supporters, the CR7 supporters might point to the lack of game time at Manchester United has affected his form. Look, the camera don't lie. He cannot outrun defenders anymore. He's dependent on the ball to be placed in a perfect spot where he can win it instantly and score, right? So he just caught up to him. It is what it is. So for me, Ronaldo is one of the greatest ever in his generation. I prefer Ronaldo over Messi, personally. But, time just catch up. You can't beat Father Time, brother. I know he was hoping that he's going to get a 1 month reprieve. But Father Time decided, no, we're done here before the World Cup.
Yeah, man, big general. It's been an absolute pleasure watching him at this tournament. I mean, we can go back 2018, 2014, etc., when he had some big moments, you know.
I know that's it for him on the world stage, because he's not going to MLS. If he go to the Saudi Arabian team, his career is going to go the way of Rivaldo. Where you remember Rivaldo played for some obscure team when him did retire or left big time football.
He played in Egypt one time and
right. And I think Messi, Ronaldo's go. It's not possible. I was going to say like him hoping him can play with his son, but his older son, I don't think that's possible though.
Well, his son can join the Saudi Arabian side.
Yeah. Somebody try to pull a LeBron. I don't know.
But do you agree with Santos's decision regarding the bench and the eventual substitution today? I mean, it worked well in the last game, and to an extent, you go with the same team. But did you agree with the decision?
I think he waited too long. You should have given Ronaldo the start. If he had to start, you give him the start in the first game. But after that, brother, you got to wear a Skillaci in 86 or 90. Remember Skillaci in 1990 just come off of the bench as a super sub, right?
Yeah.
Ronaldo humbled himself at that point. I think that show where you can have a player with a strong personality and a strong will to win, and win by him influencing the game. But there comes a time you have to protect the player from himself. And I don't think they protected Ronaldo from Ronaldo early enough. And I think that affected Portugal. Because the homeboy come on and score a hat-trick. You never really played against somebody. But you never really... And you had a one game, and now you go against Morocco, who planned for you and shut you down, right? And you couldn't react. Rafael Leao, big disappointment to me in the World Cup too. So,
but the minutes was limited, right? He came on in a couple games in the group and did cast a spark.
And he did score, yes. But today, a bare rubbish man up on the football.
Bare rubbish. Portugal gone at them yard, at least them packing up them bungle and aka the bags and get ready to go at them yard. But Junior, this Moroccan team, before we leave this game, goes on to the semi-final. They have injuries. Their captain, Sayes, who used to play for Wolves in the EPL, he picked up a knock. They had to wrap up. Boy, it's a big wrap up on him tie. It seems like some sort of muscle injury. How is Morocco able to survive these injuries, these massive injuries, and still carry on? You have Masari, who didn't start this game, and they're still able to carry on into this tournament, family.
Because they understand that they are not a team of individuals, they are a team. So regardless of who is on the field, 11 players go out there, 10 players go out on the field and execute the game plan, right? We're not dependent on the ball going to Ziyech or anybody else that will play off him. No, we have a game plan and we trust each other. The coaches trust in everybody will get have a jersey. So if you fit the profile for this position, go there and execute the position, right? I think that's Morocco's approach, and it worked. You can't kill it, you can't knock it. It worked.
Yeah, have to big up number 4 Amrabat in that midfield. The man, and the number 8 Onahi, who should have probably scored a goal. Big up to the left back, Mr. Atayat Allah. Diego Dalot couldn't get around. They move Bernardo Silva on that side, and him still couldn't get around this brother. And he's had a great tournament. So watch out for the Atlas Lions, family. Them continue to roar, right? The crowd, it's almost like they are a home team.
Home team, yeah.
Home team. The stadium ram like bull cow. The stadium ram with Moroccan fans, and the images of their families. We saw Ashraf Hakimi with his mom, Siofan Boufal with his mother. The celebration after those victories, and this victory was really immense. So, your thought on Boufal, a youth who we saw at Southampton, tricky player, but he said in some pre-tournament, he said, if we get out of the group, we're going to the semifinals. That was his. He said, if we get out of the group, we're going to the semifinal. But your thoughts on his play and the evolution of the player? Because remember, we used to watch him at Southampton, and we used to always say, the brother, him tricky, but it's just the end product of the day. Him the one tackle. Your thoughts on Mr. Buffal?
I don't want to discredit his preparation and the work that he put in to get better, but part of it is to his country pride, right?
Yeah.
And you put on your jersey and go out there and you're fighting with your brothers and you know that World Cup is every 4 years. So if you have the privilege of playing this World Cup, chances are it's going to be difficult for you to play the next World Cup unless you're super young and you maintain a farm, right? So there's more focus that get involved with the player at this moment. And some players fall, some players blossom into something else, right? So it would be nice if that's the reason why the brother come out and say, yo, we're gonna play some ball and blossom into something else.
Yeah. And an interesting stat, they conceded a single goal so far in this tournament. Defensively, they have been outstanding. And the goal they conceded was an own goal. So the man them defense tight, so big up to Coach Walid Regragui team. And now they get on. They move on to another dicey encounter, brother.
Yeah.
And the quarterfinal game, family, was the big match itself. The two big teams. France versus England. France won 2-1. I mean, it's well documented by now. Them a look for Harry Kane because he missed that second PK. Them cannot find him. Your thoughts on this one, family?
England was my side. What we pick for? I think I picked so many teams, but England was one I think that I would have loved to see win the World Cup. I am just glad that a black brother get the penalty. Because to me, they have the talent. To me, their talent is comparable to France, in my opinion. They just have an idiot coach. But I am glad it wasn't a black man missed the penalty. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because right now, you would have been posting racist tweets, right? Right now. You know what I mean? You'll have racist tweets, yes, sir, and this a player said this, and that person said this, and Ray. So I am happy that didn't happen. It is what it is, yeah, brother. I don't know. As an England fan, hindsight is 2020. Milan make give Sterling the penalty, man. You score one already.
Is it a normal thing as you put on your coaching hat, family, to give the same penalty, to give two penalties in the same game to your penalty taker, knowing that he's playing against his teammate, as in Hugo Lloris? Both of them play for Spurs.
It depends. I think that answer depends on the player. Because you have some player that live for that moment, right?
Yeah.
And you have some players are shy for that moment. So BM said England is a sick joke at this point. France was poor today and they still couldn't get the job done. But guess what? France was poor the last 2 games then.
There's a bit of gripe from the English fans. As some of them have said, they have messaged us, they've said, brother, they got robbed on that Tushimeni goal. Many thought that there should have been a foul call on Saka. Theo Hernandez. They believe that Saka was fouled by, I think it's Hernandez or Upamecano. I'm trying to remember who was the tackler in that game. Junior, was England robbed on that play, brother? Should there have been a foul?
No. Move it
on. Kylian Mbappe, looking at the French team, and I mean, Kylian Mbappe was somewhat on the periphery. Was it something to do with what England did to him, or he just was kind of not eager enough to get involved?
England had Kyle Walker, Jordan Henderson, and John Stones sharing responsibilities in quelling Mbappe's opportunities. There were moments where you see where Mbappe's immaturity kicked in and stopped him from getting probably a clearer chance at goal, right?
Yeah.
And those are things that you point out and say, yo, that's where the maturity come in. And you see when Mbappe mature, then there is something that you're going to see a different outcome on the court, right? So to answer your question, I think Kyle Walker just took advantage of Mbappe's speed. Because Mbappe is the one that signaled like him want outrun the whole of England, to me.
Yeah.
So I say BMC, I hope Mbappe is saving his best for the finals. He was a passenger against England.
Yeah, regarding this French team, you know, Coach Didier Deschamps seemed reluctant to play Camavinga. I mean, his go-to sub is Kingsley Coman for Ousmane Dembele. Junior, can he rely on these horses, or the CM11 going into the final, the semi-final, and eventually the final if they make it? Or he has to rely on this bench at some point?
We have to rely on the bench. You're going to have that one game where you need some luck for win the World Cup. I don't think France have had that one game. They did drop the first game though. So no, sorry. Them dropped the third game. They lost the third game.
Yeah, the game against Tunisia, yeah.
To Tunisia, but it was a nothing game, right? But yeah. I don't, you're going to get tested. There are signs where they were tested today against England. But I'm talking about where you are going to chase the game. I expect them to need to chase the game. And we'll see what come out of it. With that being said, that means someone might be hinting that Morocco going to score against them. You never know. You never know.
Never know. End of an era for England before we get to our semi-final setups. Talented outfit. A lot of talent young talent across this team, across the squad. Is it time to just tell Gareth Southgate to go on a road, brother?
Of course. Absolutely. Just do road. Just go on. Do the admirable thing. Every other coach you realize that came with high expectation and lost, them take for themselves. Luis Enrique take for himself. Taicher take for himself. Who else take for themselves?
Louis van Gaal take for himself.
Louis van Gaal take for himself. So England, just do the right thing. Just do the right thing.
But Junior, before we get, is this underachievement for England in your eyes? They lost to the defending champions.
Yeah, no, it's not underachievement.
And comparable, maybe the team that's equally as talented, maybe even more talented. As them.
I agree. But what it did show though is England is not really ready for the prime time as yet, right? Yes, France is a better team. Yes, France was in the ascendancy. Yes, France should have won on paper. But how many times we're going to have to hear that about England, that you lose to a team, they've been kicking the ball since they come out the crib, blah, 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 blah. Too much excuse, right? But
I don't feel sorry for any of them, boss cover.
Yeah.
All right, semi-finals games looking ahead now. We get no Ballchat tomorrow. Now we step into the nitty-gritty. 4 teams remain in family. Argentina versus Croatia. That game is Tuesday at 2 p.m. France versus Morocco on Wednesday at 2 p.m. family. This is it. This is for all the marbles. Last chance for Modric and Messi. Modric said in the captain series that he has unfinished business at this World Cup since making it to the final in the last iteration and didn't take it. He says may have unfinished business. Of course, Messi, everlasting unfinished business, trying to go down as one of the greats. Family, keys to this game Tuesday. How Argentina or Croatia execute and win this game, family?
They both play the same style, right? I think it will be decided by which coach decide to roll the dice first, right? If you roll the dice at land on 6, then, hey, get aggressive, right? If you get aggressive, you open up the wall at the backside, but you give yourself more of an opportunity to score and more opportunity.
Open up the wall at the backside, clean up the top, brother. How them Rastafari going around here? Yo! The other side. Yo, what it was? As we continue family show around here, family.
Why for that speech? Why? BM said the ridiculous English media keeps hyping the team and they keep flopping on the big stage. Yo, we'll see what happens. But I think Perisic and Acuna for Argentina, they will sway the game one way or the other. That's what I'm expecting. So
Yeah,
BM said, why for that out there?
This is a difficult game for Carl. Extremely difficult. And it should be. Semi-final game. As Scaloni is the man who's leading Argentina as a coach, but really is Messi's coaching the side. Zlatko Dalic is the man that's leading Croatia, and of course Luka Modric and others have huge influence on this team. I fundamentally believe that games are won and lost in midfield, family, and Croatia has no problem grinding out this thing and taking it to penalties. Emi Martinez was excellent for Argentina. And Lekovic was excellent for Croatia against Brazil, two excellent goalkeepers. If Argentina want to win this thing, I think they try to win it in either regulation or extra time. Don't send this thing to penalty. Do not send this thing to penalties. Do not send this thing to penalties. And with that being said, Messi is picking his spots. Kovacic, somebody has to put a body on him.
Right.
Them have got to just touch him up earlier on. You have got to touch him. It's just like today in the England game, Kyle Walker touch up Kylian Mbappe and let him know that you are there. It's me I say you have to let them know that there is no easy lunch here. And Messi, and now granted, you don't want to get a card early in the game, but you have to let Messi know that you are there. I know in those pockets of space, Kovacic or Brozovic has to be able to physical him up and make him know that they're there.
Yeah, I agree.
Who you got, family? Who you got?
I think Argentina find the perfect game and beat Croatia.
It's a tough one for Carl. Croatia is it's a hard game for Carl. I could flip a coin and say each one of them win. I would love to see Messi win a World Cup, but I'm not gonna pick him. I'm on a streak because every team I pick seem to have gotten defeated. Have been defeated. So we're just going to go with Croatia. Every team I've picked have been defeated, so we're going to go with Croatia for win this one. But the keys for me why Croatia is so essential in this game, or it's essential for Croatia. The thing is that they can play great football, but I don't know where the goal's coming from.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I mean, Perisic is putting the ball in the box. This is where you could use a Mandzukic or one of them old man who would score one or two goals. I'm not sure. They put on Petrovic later in the game.
Mandzukic is a coach now on the bench, right?
I don't even know. I think
he's a coach. I remember hearing that name and hearing that he's on the bench coaching. I want to say it's him.
I don't even know. And Coach Dalic of Croatia, I think they recognize that they're not going to score a bag of goals. They don't have that arsenal in them. So they're quite satisfied scoring a one goal or just go straight to penalties.
Yeah.
With limited space available, how is Argentina going to break down this team, family?
By moving the ball quickly.
There's nothing quick about Argentina.
Well, they might struggle. But that's the only thing they can do. You can only find joy in moving the ball quickly, switching it from side to side. That will pull the defenders out of place and then you find a spot to attack. That's it.
Yeah, big game. Tuesday, 2 p.m. Mr. Lovren himself and the centre-back, the mass man, the other brother has been very good for Croatia. And on Wednesday at 2 p.m., family, Kylian Mbappe versus Ashraf Hakimi or Ziyech is the leader of this team. Morocco versus France. I mean, I'm going with the Atlas Lions, brother. I'm going with the Atlas Lions. There's something about Cinderella. And I see you making up your face. What I saw today from France, they took the lead against England and they kind of rest on their laurels. And then England start go at them. And England start go at them. And then England, you know, could have probably taken the lead. But one thing that is abundantly clear, that you won't get a lot of free space against Morocco in the final third. Morocco is quite satisfied letting you have the ball and do whatever you want to. And then they send Nasri on the counter. And Ziyech will make a whole of play. Right. I'm going with the Atlas Lions. It would be nice if they could win the World Cup.
Right. Imagine that story, man. Imagine that fanfare.
Yeah. and another thing, I thought Kylian Mbappe today was on the periphery. I expect the general, probably the best footballer that's playing football right now, to be more dominant. All right, you're not getting the spaces that you normally get. Go get the ball, find the ball. And said, yo, Griezmann is more instrumental on this French team. And maybe it's by design to play that role. Going to find the ball and then looking at everything. I'm very much concerned about France and the fact that everything is down the left side. And Ousmane Dembele is yet to really kind of exploit anything on the right side against your opponent. You know?
Wouldn't say that. I would say that he hasn't offered quite as much as the attack on the other side, but would I expect that? Yeah. But I think he has done enough to balance the team, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
France versus Morocco family. I mean, well, I would love to see not African United France win another World Cup. A real African team win a World Cup. But your predictions and keys for this one, family.
If France don't allow an early goal, they should win comfortably.
Is that a prediction, brother?
That is a prediction. If they don't drop an early goal, like in other words, if a goal don't meet them, and them have a bull. But the only way Morocco have a chance is to score early and lock shop, right? Only way. I can't see Morocco beating France in a shootout in terms of a high octane up and down football game. I don't see that happening, right?
Yeah, they can't leave the space for the French players to stretch their legs. Yeah, I can't bother with that. Can't do that.
Them cannot hold off France from scoring for 90 minutes. It's not happening. France should win. You don't make no sense to think too hard. France should win that game easily.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the raw talent and the both teams on paper, you said, ultimately France should win this ball game because of the quality of the ballers them have. And, but at the end of the day, I mean, this is why you play the game. Ball game is wrong, ball wrong,
right.
Right. So I've got Croatia beating Argentina. And I'm going, and I hope Morocco can sneak out a one against France family.
Okay.
All
right.
I mean, if you can beat Portugal, if you can beat Spain, I mean, this is just another big side you play. It's a different animal.
Yeah.
It's a different animal, yes. You have the best player in the world probably playing a ball right now that you're playing against, and you have to figure out a way to play him. But at the same time, stick to your system, stick to your player. Defensively, they have been very solid, even with all the injuries. I expect Mazzari and others to roll back into this team. Chidera, who got a red card, was a sub. I don't expect him to really be missed that much. And as long as Ziyech can hold the player and safe Buffal, I think Upamecano is a mistake waiting to happen in that French backline.
But will Morocco be able to capitalize on it though? I might be too far in the bus in them 18-yard box. In the old 18-yard box.
You play counter. Amrabat better take an ice bath, soak himself in the ice for the next. I mean, because this is all hands on deck, family. And the number 8 on he have to get ready. I mean, Shifian Bofal. I see a way. I'm convinced in a way that Morocco can find this thing.
We will see. We will see.
We will see, family. Any final comments you want to highlight?
World Cup exciting. But we can't. We don't know if you purposely avoid it, but Graham Star. The Graham Star story.
Grant Wahl.
Wahl. Sorry,
yeah,
Grant
Wahl. It's a tricky one for me. We didn't, family want to highlight Grant Wahl, who sadly passed away while covering 48 years old, while covering the Netherlands versus Argentina game. We're not putting his image up. I mean, the family already, there's just too many images of him circulating. I mean, Grant is one of those guys who has been very proactive in the things that he believes in, from a writing perspective, a very, receive an award at this World Cup from phenomenon from Ronaldo for attending his 8th World Cup, covering his 8th consecutive World Cup. So Grant, condolences to his family, man. Condolences to his family. 48 years old, Junior.
Young man. And yeah, but I'm gonna take your lead and leave it at that. Unfortunate, his work is going to be missed, and pray for the family and close ones that them find some way to cope with the tragedy that took place, and we'll see.
Interestingly, on the football podcast, he was a guest on the football podcast, which is a podcast hosted by, I can't remember the host name. 2 days ago, he was a guest on that show, and he spoke that he's been struggling with some sort of cold, something. He said he's been covering games left, right, and center. He's been not a lot of sleep. Of course, he had the World Cup, and the games are coming thick and fast. You have to write articles, do interviews, etc., etc. And so he said that, I have been going full tilt. My body gave out on me. He's been sick. He said he had to go to the medical facilities, I think 2 or 3 times. His chest was hurting. They finally gave him some medications. And the day he did the podcast, which was, I think, 2 days ago, the Thursday, he said it's the best he felt in quite a while. And then the following day, covering the Argentina-Netherlands game, live tweeting during the game. And then extra time, it stopped and he was gone, sadly. Life, brother.
Yo, it just, it's just a friendly reminder that life is simple and don't lose sight of priority, right? I don't know. Obviously, we're not talking to the family, but he died doing what he loves, right? And
yep.
Apart from growing to see your kids get through the worst of adolescence and early adulthood, and growing to see everybody around you surpass your hurdles or obstacles. The next best thing, in my opinion, is doing what you truly loved. So everybody at that funeral is going to say he was at a place where he loved, right? Doing what he loved. And that can't be comfort, but that should be something where you can look back at his personality. I'm talking for his brother, because his brother taking it really hard. Without go the conspiracy route.
We're not get to that bush about.
But taking it really hard. Hopefully he can take it now and say, at least he went out doing what he loved best. You know,
Yeah, man. All the
rest
best.
in peace.
Yeah, man. All the best to the family, brother. I mean, wife, Celine, who was also an MD, and is a brother who reached out to a lot of up and coming journalists in this business to help them grow. If you want him on the show, just holler at him, and he would be there. That was always his legacy, a man who's always willing to help young journalists in this space, covering football, because he valued the importance of getting the message out about the sport in this country. Chef Diardi said, Benton, you need to root for France so Morocco can win. See, a real thought that. A real thought. I did pick France in my World Cup bracket versus Brazil in the final, family. That's my World Cup bracket pick. Junior, 4 teams left in our bracket. How many of these 4 teams you have, family, in your bracket?
None.
You don't have none of these teams,
None of these teams.
So wait, you don't have France,
Actually, I don't know. Argentina. I had Argentina playing Brazil, I believe.
Yeah, so my semi-final bracket was Argentina versus Brazil and France versus Croatia, because I have Croatia winning Morocco's group. So I have 3 of the 4 teams that are remaining, just in different setup.
Right.
Just in a different setup, because I have Brazil eventually winning this. And hopefully everybody else in the pool worse than me. Tabasco.
But your thing don't work right now if you have Brazil winning.
Yeah, my dog. Dog, me and my supper right now, because the only way we can save is if Morocco win the World Cup. That's the only way I can save my pool, because somebody have France, Argentina, and Croatia winning. Make sure says somebody.
That's true.
Chef says this is one of the most exciting World Cup ever. Lots of upset. Love seeing the underdogs play fearlessly. Yeah, man.
I agree.
I 100% agree. 100%. Remind the games on Tuesday, family. The games on this coming week, semi-final games. Argentina versus Croatia, 2 p.m. France versus Morocco, 2 p.m. on Wednesday. Make us see if we can figure out a time to do a recap, and then we have the big final next Sunday,
Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right, family, I that, any final statements, and once again, condolences to Grant Wahl family, the extraordinary journalist American journalist who sadly passed away covering the Netherlands versus Argentina game. We don't know exactly how he died, but we know him,
He's not with us anymore.
Always said, no man, no, not our family.
Right.
Any other comments you want to highlight, family, before we go on?
Chef Diardi said, cannot allow Croatia to play comfortably. They are built for those close, gritty games. Argentina need to score early. They cannot slow Croatia to play. They cannot allow Croatia to play comfortably. Force them to play from behind.
All right. See there. No Ballchat tomorrow. No Sunday show. So we just have to chill and just get ready, prepare ourselves for the semifinals. Hopefully we can do some recap this week and get ready for the final next week.
Right.
Hopefully Morocco in the final, bro. You can connect with us on Instagram at Ballchat Podcast. We're on Twitter at Ballchat1. We're on Facebook at Ballchat. You can email us at ballchatpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you to all the listeners. Big up to all the listeners. Always respect and one love to the family. And, stay safe out the road, because you don't know how you go already. This thing called life, kind of tricky sometimes. Junior, we're gone on the road now, family.
I am going to go drown myself in my tears. The goat gone.
Them curry the goat.
And curry the goat.
Them curry the goat. Bless up, family.
Later.